In this video, I'm going to be replacing the park brake lever or park brake arm on a GMC Yukon XL 2500 or 1500. It'll probably be about the same procedure for any Chevy truck or Sierra, Silverado, anything like that. But basically you have the park brake cable, which is right here, goes down to this little coil spring. And right here you have a little lever that the linkage hooks into. I'm going to be replacing that 12mm bolt here, and underneath there's two of them. Take this off. Two more bolts on the back here and down here. These are 18mm. Now I've got those two bolts out. Oh, this whole thing comes off. Now this rotor might be stuck on. I did brake work recently, so it should just slide right off. Sometimes you might have to hammer it some. This little section, I've got an 8mm bolt for a bracket. I had to do something kind of weird to get this bracket off. I had to use an 8mm socket with a little swivel piece and an extension because this, that stud back here is in my way. Just take that bolt off. Little bracket should fall right out onto the ground. Now that you've got that bracket off, you should be able to take the park brake shoe off pretty easily. There we go. Go ahead and replace this bracket while you're here. The park brake lever or park brake arm is missing on my truck. That right there, this little hole right here with the boot is where it goes. And this is the park brake cable with the linkage right here. I'm missing the linkage that it hooks into. What you're going to want to do is remove this little adjusting knobs. I think that it's called like an actuator or something maybe. For the most part, they just kind of pop out. That's what it looks like right there when you pull them out. And there's this little pill or something inside there. You just buy a little parking brake kit from the store for maybe like 10 or 15 bucks. From what I can tell, this is a junkyard part. I cannot find them online, and I can't find any videos about it or anything unless someone is doing like an actual brake cable replacement. They might mention something about it, but most of the time they'll just use their old part because none of the stores around here sell them. So I went out and picked it myself from the local junkyard, and such small a part, they actually gave it to me for free. I kind of walked up and they laughed and said, no, just go ahead and take it. So that was kind of cool. But let's go ahead and replace this thing. One more little bracket you can replace is this one right here. Goes next to the adjustment knob. Just pushes right in place. So now I've got my new adjustment parts right here. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it all the way. I've got my little pill here that goes right in the middle of both of them. They also gave me a little packet of lithium grease. I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze on some of that stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my new part on the back side of your wheel well area. Make sure your parking brake cable is facing up and down and that it's not like sideways like mine just was. This little nose piece goes forward. You kind of put that on like that. Shove it through that hole. Make sure it's really on there. When you're on the passenger side of the vehicle, the piece that actually tightens the parking brake shoes goes on the left side, like that. This little pill goes in next. That little pill thing goes in this hole right here, and you'll notice on that little arm that I put in, there's a dip in it. This is another one I have. There's a dip in it. That's where that little pill goes. Just kind of sits in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of grease right on that. And it just kind of sticks in there. One thing you can do, make sure that that little dip is kind of right in the center of this entire hole. You can just kind of feel around back here and adjust it if you need to, you know, just by hand real quick. And stick that right over top of it. It really just kind of sits in there. It's held in by the pressure of the brake shoe goes around it and holds it in. Go ahead and put your new parking brake shoe on. These new ones are kind of cool. They come apart like that. Makes it a little easier. There's little grooves in the adjusting pieces that you made. Make sure it just fits right in those grooves. All right. Alright, sometimes your rotors will fight you a little bit. Make sure it goes on evenly. Alright, so I've got the lever arm on, brackets back on, the pads back on. I'm gonna put the tire on and I think I should be good to go. Alright, the vehicle is in drive right now, and as you can tell, it's not moving anywhere. So obviously this has been a success. Thanks for watching.